Welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast, hosted by coaches Bill and Essen. With so many fitness fads and trends, compounded with hundreds of mixed reviews, it is nice to know that this madness can be simplified into meaningful content, whether you want to believe it or not. There are millions of Americans that are literally eating themselves to death, a learned behavior that has been passed down from generation to generation. Let's connect with the team that has the knowledge and experience to change this.
Okay, this is Coach Bill, and we're here with Coach Eston, and today's segment is getting to know each one of us and how we can help you live a healthier lifestyle. And to start us off would be Coach Eston. So, Eston, tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so why am I doing this?
Well, not why you're doing this, but a little bit about your background. Where'd you come from? What's your background in fitness and weight management?
All right, well, career-wise, I have 4 years of college, and I attained a Bachelor of Science in Exercise. I also have 10 years of clinical experience in wellness rehab, combined with 20 years of exercise training at various levels from beginner to advanced. Mm-hmm. And in addition, I have a lifetime of battling dysmorphia.
Now, what is that, dysmorphia?
It's a distorted body image where you look in a mirror or a reflective surface and what you see is not what others see. Some see themselves too thin, some see themselves too fat. I have the latter, not the former.
Right. Okay.
When I look in a mirror, I see a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Even though you're just far from that.
If you say so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am 6'4" and I'm 230 pounds. To me, I have a huge belly, skinny arms, skinny legs, fat face. Mm-hmm. And I've seen myself that way the majority of my adult life.
I see.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I got into fitness.
So that's probably one of the reasons why you're doing this, right?
Yes. I like to, because one of the reasons why is I want to engage people in a healthy conversation about lifestyle choices like exercise and like eating, but more importantly, to be able to teach them how to pursue a lifestyle indefinitely. I think how I got started was I was in track and field as a boy, and there you learn binge purge way of eating and exercising, and then that just morphed into self-loathing because I never could seem to attain what was being asked of me by coaches or choreographers later on when I got into dance, or acting coaches or fashion coordinators when I was a model. I was never good enough, and it was always brought back to my body. Even at our house, it was eat. You're not eating enough. If you love me, eat. So food became repulsive to me because it was an obligation and I couldn't enjoy it.
Right.
And then later on, trying to find a mate, you're being judged by your physicality first, and getting rejected because I didn't have a six-pack or my chest wasn't big enough or whatever. So I've been dealing with.
So it was all physical. It was nothing with, that person had a great personality as a joke these days.
Yeah. And it didn't matter how educated I became. I mean, I have a bachelor's of science in exercise science, a master's in health science. I have a fine arts degree in communications. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I have certifications by ACSM, AFA. I'm even certified in CPR, AED, and first aid by the American Heart Association. I've written several books.
You still struggle with that?
Yeah, still struggle with it. Because that doesn't
I'm sorry,
matter.
I cut you off by the book.
No.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I've published several books. I am a science fiction author under the pen name of E. Robert Dunn. I have 15 books in my series. I've written several short stories, plays, screenplays. And in the back of your mind, you're still not good enough, and especially physically. Wow. And I'm aging. I'm 57. Doesn't help. But I battle with it. And I eat, and I am successful on some levels. But I am very empathetic to other people that are dealing with weight issues.
Right, which is very common in the United States.
Correct. And worldwide, very much so in the United States, because we're very youth-oriented. And it's youth-driven, and beauty is all based on age and youth and body type. And
Right. Right.
And now with social
So,
media.
also, yeah, social media. Yeah, I know that you've were very active when you first started down this track. Anything that you can add regarding that?
Well, I have, by having that dysmorphic binge purge kind of somewhat anorexic mindset, of course, I overdid everything. So now I have a host of musculoskeletal injuries. I guess
Right.
technically it's overuse syndrome. So yeah, I'm personally dealing with that, which also another layer of my empathy towards individuals attempting to overcome any type of lifelong movement injuries. That was
And
kind
part
of
of
like
that
my
was
purge.
with your right, right. I was going
Yeah,
to
I
say
did.
that you were an instructor, were you not,
Yeah,
for
I
years?
taught. Yeah, I taught group exercise like aerobics, high, low, step, slide for over 30 years, as well as teaching yoga, as well as teaching strength training classes, toning classes like below the belt. But
Mm,
also
mm.
actually a personal trainer, gym, helping with free weights and machines. I did that for 30 years. So, that was my full-time job. So 8 hours a day, I was in the gym, and a good portion of that, if not half of that, was spent exercising every single day
Wow.
with a variety of combination of those kind of classes. I might teach two-step and then two yoga, or I might teach a step, a slide, and a toning class and a yoga or whatever throughout a day, 6 days a week sometimes. Because if you don't work in that
And
industry, you don't get paid. So there's no
right,
sick
and
time, there's no personal leave days, no health care. So if you don't work, you don't make a living. So you're forced to work
mm,
every single day, and that's a physical job.
right, right.
Hmm.
Eventually, wear and tear. I mean, that's with
Yes.
any job,
Yeah.
especially if it's 8 hours a day, 6 to 8 hours a day, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
You don't last too long.
No. And
Yeah, I
I
get it.
lasted 30. I lasted 30 years.
Right.
But now, now in my 50s, my body's like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. And I agree with it.
Not to get into another topic with this one. This is more about getting to know us, and
Yeah.
your background is very impressive, Eston, and
No,
a lot of
thank you.
people can benefit. Yeah, sure, can benefit from your knowledge. And so, with that said, the things about dysmorphia, that is actually our next podcast coming up, and I know I'm going to be interested in hearing more about it. I know our listeners will too. So um, we'll save that for an
Another,
entirely different part. Yeah, another
another
podcast,
day.
another day,
Okay. So with that
another
said,
hour.
enough
Hmm.
about me. What about you? So why are you doing this?
Well, I've not like yourself. Well, similar to, I should say. I wasn't really an instructor yet until recently. But I've been athletic and in athletics all my life, and primarily football. When I started 8 years old, when I was 8 years old, I started, I should say, and
Mm,
up to about 25 years old, where I played football to a semi-pro level. And long story short, I came close to being professional, but just it didn't happen. But I learned a lot from that. I also learned a lot about not being active, and
mm,
my story is out on my website, but a brief summary, much like most people that were active, or maybe they weren't active, when you get married and have kids, things change, your lifestyle changes, and that I was not excluded from that. And I gained I was 280.
yeah.
I was a slug, Eston, and didn't do any much of anything except for traveling with my son to his and my daughter to their games, and
Mm,
I had a bout with prostate and bladder cancer, high cholesterol, and the doctor says if you don't start exercising at least 20 minutes a day,
mm,
you have to be put on medication. And that kind of woke me up, along with the cancer and the fact that I looked at myself in the mirror and I didn't know who that was. Um,
I can relate.
I just like doing anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, right. So my background is the highs and lows of life, as well as understand how your body works, how it moves, how to feed it, how it's to be fed.
Yeah.
And it's a system that was developed called Bushido that puts everything in perspective when it comes to your body and exercise. And it's really designed for people over 35 and over, because more than likely they're getting married or have been married and have kids, busy lifestyles. And they're aging.
And they're
absolutely aging. Right. So because of this system, I'm down to 215. So over 60 pounds I've lost. Yeah. And I just the best I've felt in 20 some years. So it does work. A lot of people say, well, yeah, anyone can do that. Anyone can lose weight. And you're right.
No,
absolutely right. Let's keep it at
yes, anybody can, but everyone's success is at different levels. It's not as easy as people just brush it off. Oh, anybody can do that. No, it takes time and dedication.
It does. It does. A lot of people are used to quick fixes, like, eat this for 6 weeks and lose 20 pounds, lose your first 10 pounds in a week.
Yeah, it's all water and bile and fecal matter and muscle mass.
Yeah, which is
not
the
fat.
Worst, muscle mass. Right, fat. That's the key. What a lot of people overlook, and this system does concentrate on those areas as well as fat. There's fat stores that your body, for good reason, has them available, but never gets a chance to use them. So that's another podcast. And but the nice segue though to other topics.
I am a writer.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
I'm good at segue.
But we'll help if people understand. What's that?
I said I'm good at segue.
You are. Very good. So here's my segue. We'll help people, and you're including this, we'll help people understand why eating three times a day is not really ideal. And it's not for everyone, but for most people. Right. And why most people end up doing anaerobic versus aerobic. They don't understand the two, right? Yeah.
Correct.
And because of that, what's that?
Correct.
And because of that, they actually cause more fat. The body to produce more fat than to lose it. So it's a lot of people are ignorant of that, and that's why we're on air to try to explain how that works. And why doing 1,000? Here's another one, another lie, or I hate using the word lie, but it's not true.
Myth.
Doing 1,000 sit-ups will help you get a six-pack. No, will not.
No.
And we'll explain why that is, and why following a low-fat diet is not necessarily good.
Correct.
Why only you need 2 hours exercise a week to help you lose weight. Depending on what you're looking for, right? If you were looking to build muscle mass, like be it bulky, you may need to do it more than 2 hours. But your general exercise, you need 2 hours for losing weight and losing fat.
Structured exercise, but then incidental exercises throughout your entire day for your entire life.
Which means what, Eston? What's that mean?
Taking stairs instead of taking escalators, parking the furthest in the parking lot and walking to your destination, walking around your neighborhood instead of taking Uber, or Lyft to go blocks. I know people that get in their car to go to their apartment complex mailbox, and it's literally right over there. Why are you in your car getting, stuff like that?
Yep. It's a force of habit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Breaking bad habits and creating better ones, and that's not easy to do, but it starts with the mindset. Yeah. And that will help you with that. Here's one a lot of people don't really understand is plenty of sleep. You need plenty of sleep to lose weight.
Yes.
You don't want, because that's the time your body re-energizes itself. And if you're not getting enough sleep, you're actually adding more stress. And stress causes what?
Oh, disease. Fat.
Disease plus
disease.
Cortisol.
And then you put cortisol, release of cortisol, which is a fat sparing hormone. It turns off your immune system, causes your insulin levels and your sugar levels to go out of whack. And
Yep.
It's meant for fight or flight and short duration. Yeah,
correct.
Your body
Very
gets
good.
confused.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting a car on blocks and idling the engine.
Right, and it's not going nowhere.
Right.
There's your favorite one. Yeah. Why 80% of your body, how you look, is determined by what you eat. So 8% of what you eat is how you look and feel. It's so true.
Yes.
And here's one that I love that I found that's very doable. How you can find the time to exercise amongst your busy schedule. Everyone's busy. It's about priorities, about also that if you make it a priority, you can fit it in every day if you want, or 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever. But
getting up
very,
half an hour
doable.
Earlier in the morning, doing exercise half an hour before you would normally go to bed instead of just sitting on the sofa watching TV.
Yeah, Not even half hour. How about 20 minutes?
Yeah, taking a 20-minute walk during your lunch half hour or hour.
Yeah.
Eat while you
Exercise
walk.
doesn't have to be lifting weights. Right. It doesn't have to be a lifting weight. It's just movement. Yep.
Yep.
So these are just one of, oh my goodness, there's probably about 100 topics but these are the top ones that we came up with that we'll be sharing with our listeners. And, but that's about all we have for today. Is there anything else you want to close with, Eston?
No, just I'm glad to be a part of this, and I look forward to see where we can go with it and who we can help.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Well, until next time, be healthy, be strong, and be a life warrior. We'll talk to you soon.
Be well.
Be well.
The opinions and topics expressed in this podcast are those of the participants and do not necessarily support the opinions and views of the wellness community. We would love to hear your thoughts, so click on the message button and give us your constructive feedback. Thank you for listening and make a positive difference today.